My beloved child, listen to me. I speak to you with truth and love. Overthinking is a silent destroyer. It does not shout like anger. It does not cry out like sorrow. Yet it slowly steals your joy quietly from within. The danger is that you may not even realize it is happening. You may believe you are being careful, wise, or prepared, but you are not. You become stuck, paralyzed, lost within your own mind. Why is this topic so important right now? Today's world is loud, fast, overstimulating. You open your phone and you are instantly bombarded by information, comparison, judgment, pressure. You were already thinking about what your friend said yesterday. Now you are thinking about what that stranger posted online. Then you start wondering, what if I fail? What if they do not like me? What if I say something wrong? What if they misunderstood what I said yesterday? What if I missed my chance? And before you know it, you are sitting in your room doing nothing but mentally exhausted, as if you have run a marathon. That is the trap of overthinking. It drains your energy, it steals your confidence, it ruins your sleep, it damages your health. And worst of all, it stops you from living. You want to start a new project, you overthink. You want to start stepping into your calling, you overthink. You want to send a message to someone you care about, you overthink. And by the time your thoughts settle, the opportunity is already gone. Overthinking is a thief, and if you do not stop it, it will quietly steal your future. Why do you overthink? You overthink because you want control. You think if you just think about this long enough, you will find the perfect answer. But life does not give you perfect answers. Life gives you choices, and you move or you miss them. Overthinking is a lie your brain tells you. If you keep thinking, you will feel safe, but all it brings is fear. Now let me show you how to escape this mental prison. Not with cheap tips, but with real, powerful, life-changing solutions that will stay with you forever. This message will not just help you stop overthinking, it will also deepen your spiritual life, your mindset, and your entire life. Let us begin. Solution 1, your mind lies. Let me begin with the most powerful truth. Your mind lies. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it is trying to protect you in the wrong way. Your brain is not built to make you happy. It is built to keep you alive. It will always prepare for danger even when there is none. So you start thinking, they did not reply. Maybe they hate me. He looked at me weird. Maybe I said something wrong. I failed once. Maybe I will fail again. I feel bad. So maybe something bad is coming. But all of this is just noise. It is not truth. It is fear. Here is the truth. You do not know what others are thinking. You do not know the future. You do not know how something will end, but your mind acts like it does. It creates false stories, then punishes you with them. That is why the first step to killing overthinking is this: stop trusting every thought. Not all thoughts are facts. Not all feelings are truth. Your brain might lie to you, but you do not have to believe it. Once you realize this, you take your power back. Let me tell you a true story. There was a person who could escape from any prison, any handcuffs, any chains. One day he went to a small town and said to the police, "Lock me in your strongest jail. I will escape in 30 minutes. They locked him in. He smiled. He had done this many times before. He took out a small tool hidden in his belt and started working on the lock. He tried again and again, left, right, up, down, but the lock would not open. 30 minutes passed, then an hour. He was tired, sweating, angry. Finally, he gave up. He leaned against the door, and it opened. The door was never locked. It was only closed. But he believed it was locked, so he acted like it was. The lesson? Overthinking does the same thing. Your mind says, "I cannot do it. I will fail. They do not like me. I am not good enough." So you do not try. You do not move. You do not speak. But just like him, you are trapped by a lie. The door is not locked. You are not stuck. You are not weak. It is just your mind telling you a false story. Your thoughts are not always true. Do not let a lie control your life. Push the door. Break the thought. Your freedom is waiting. Solution 2, catch the storm before it grows. Overthinking does not explode like a bomb. It begins like a whisper. A small, quiet thought enters your mind. You ignore it, then it comes again, then again. Then it grows arms, legs, a body, a voice, and before you know it, it is shouting in your head and you feel helpless. The only way to break the cycle is to catch it early. The moment you realize you are overthinking, say, "This is not helping me. I am not solving anything. I'm stuck. I need to stop." That single sentence is a sword. It cuts through the noise. It is like stopping a train before it picks up speed, because the longer you stay in the thought, the deeper the trap becomes. Imagine you sent a message to someone, they did not reply. Thought 1, maybe they are busy. Thought 2, maybe they are ignoring me. Thought 3, maybe they are angry. Thought 4, what did I do wrong? Thought 5, why does this always happen to me? Thought 6, pain, guilt, anxiety. And the truth? They were just asleep, that is it. But your brain wrote a full movie. That is why catching the first thought is everything. Interrupt the spiral before it begins. Solution 3. Empty your brain before it overflows. Have you ever seen a cup overflow? You keep pouring water, and at some point it spills everywhere. That is what your brain does when you do not release your thoughts. They pile up one after another until there is no space left, and suddenly you feel heavy, but you do not even know why. So here is the solution. Write them down. Take a pen, take a notebook, and write exactly what you're thinking. Not in a perfect way, not for anyone to read, just for yourself. Let your brain breathe, because thoughts are loud in your head, but they become quiet on paper. Write what you are thinking, why you think it matters, what you are afraid of, what outcome you wish for. And once it is out, you will notice something strange. You feel lighter, you feel clearer, because you stopped being a prisoner of your own noise. This is not just journaling, this is mental detox. This is survival. If you do not express your thoughts, they will express themselves as stress, anxiety, and sickness. So let them out. Your peace is hiding underneath them. Solution 4. What if does not exist? Let me be honest, most of overthinking begins with 2 words. What if? What if I fail? What if they leave me? What if I embarrass myself? What if I never succeed? What if everything goes wrong? And here's the problem. You are living inside a future that has not even happened yet, a future that might never happen. You feel pain from an event that does not exist. You feel rejection from a conversation that never happened. You feel anxiety about a future you created in your imagination. That is why "what if" is the most dangerous question in your head. It creates movies and makes you feel like they are real. Let me give you an example. Imagine a person wants to share their testimony for the first time in front of others. Their mind starts screaming, what if they laugh? What if I forget what to say? What if my voice shakes? What if they think my faith is not strong enough? Now stop. What actually happened? Nothing. They have not even opened their mouth, but in their mind they have already failed not once, but 10 times. Now they stay silent again. Their confidence dies, and over time, so does their dream. That is the power of what if. So here is the truth. What if is not your friend. What if is not your future. What if is not your reality. It is your fear dressed as a question. What if does not exist. Do not let it control a life that is waiting to begin. Solution 5. Say the thought out loud. Overthinking is strong because it stays hidden. It whispers in your head, and your mind plays it like background music on repeat. But there is one strange trick that can destroy its power. Say it out loud. Speak the thought literally. Say, I think my leader dislikes me. I feel like I'm going to fail this mission. I think no one values me. Now stop and listen. When you say the thought, it starts to sound small, weak, irrational, silly even, because your brain is emotional, but your voice is logical. Let me give you an example. You are thinking, what if they reject my idea? You say it out loud, I think I will be rejected. Now your brain goes, okay. And what will happen if that is true? You answer, I will feel bad, but I will try again. Suddenly the fear is smaller, the storm is calmer. Why? Because when you speak a thought, it moves from the emotional brain to the logical brain. It becomes something you can manage, control, and understand. So next time you're stuck in a mental loop, try this step. 1, speak the thought. 2, listen to how it sounds. 3, ask, is this really worth all this fear? In most cases, the answer will be no, because the thought is never as scary as the silence around it. Stop trying to be perfect. Let me tell you, one of the biggest reasons you overthink is because you are chasing perfection. You want to say the perfect thing, look the perfect way, make the perfect decision, have the perfect plan, get the perfect results. And the result? You do nothing because nothing ever feels good enough. And the pressure of being perfect becomes heavier than the fear of failing. Let me give you an example. A person wants to start serving in their community. They have ideas, passion, a story to tell. But then What if my background is not good enough? What if my faith is not perfect? What if people do not like my voice? What if I make a mistake? So they wait. One day becomes 1 month, becomes 1 year, and their dream dies because they were waiting to be flawless. But here is the truth. Perfection is just fear in a beautiful disguise. People do not connect with perfect. They connect with real. Real words, real stories, real effort, real growth. Nobody ever became great by being perfect. They became great by starting. So kill perfection. Choose progress because done is better than perfect, and the world needs you, not your perfect version. Move your body immediately. Do not let the thought take over. When a thought enters your mind, your first instinct is to sit with it. You want to figure it out, so you keep thinking and thinking and thinking. But here is the truth. Most people do not know. Thinking harder brings answers, it brings exhaustion. Overthinking is not a sign of intelligence, it's a sign of mental traffic. And when there is too much traffic, you cannot move, you get stuck. Now listen carefully. Your body is connected to your brain. The way you sit, stand, move affects how you feel. When you overthink, your body becomes still, you freeze, your muscles tighten, your breathing gets shallow, your face becomes tense, and without realizing it, your body enters survival mode. You're now trapped in your head, and your body has joined the fear. That is why the fastest way to escape overthinking is to move your body, not because it is exercise, not because it burns calories, but because motion interrupts emotion. Here is how. Stand up and walk around your room. Go outside and feel the air. Do jumping jacks. Clean something. Wash your face. Stretch your arms and legs. Jump up and down for 10 seconds. It sounds simple, but it is life-changing because when you move your body, you shift your focus. Your brain stops spiraling. You start breathing deeper. You become aware of your surroundings. You return to the present moment. Let me give you an example. Someone sits on their bed, worrying for hours. Why did they not call? What if I messed everything up? What if this pain never goes away? Now imagine they stand up, put on music, and start organizing their desk. 5 minutes later, they are not smiling maybe, but they are not drowning anymore. The storm has slowed. That is the power of movement. Do not sit there and drown in thoughts. Stand up and interrupt the pattern. When the body leads, the mind will follow. Solution 8. Replace thinking with doing one tiny step at a time. Overthinking loves confusion. It feeds on indecision. It tells you you are not ready. You need more time. Let me just think a little more. But here is the brutal truth. You do not need more thinking, you need movement, you need momentum. The brain can imagine 100 problems, but it can only solve one when you act. Let me give you an example. You want to start living your calling. You think, what if I say the wrong thing? What if people laugh? What if I freeze? So you plan, you prepare, you overthink, and you do nothing. Here is what you should do instead. Forget perfection, forget approval, forget the future. Just do one tiny thing. Speak one sentence out loud, take one small action, write one line in a journal. One small action is more powerful than 1,000 perfect thoughts because it teaches your brain you are not here to be afraid, you are here to move forward. The longer you sit, the more scared you get. But the moment you act even a little, the fear loses its grip. Let me give you another example. You want to apply for a new opportunity, but you overthink the email, the resume, the perfect sentence. Instead, just open your laptop, write the first line, save the draft. That is it. Tomorrow, write the second line. That is how you beat overthinking, one small movement at a time. You do not need to finish the race today. You just need to take the first step now. Clarity lies in action, not delay. Many people believe that time brings clarity, so when they feel confused, they wait. They wait for the right moment. They wait for a sign. They wait for everything to feel perfect. But time does not always bring peace. Sometimes time brings more confusion. You start with one question, should I message them or not? Then an hour passes, then 3 hours. You have written and deleted 5 drafts. Now your heart is racing. You are more stressed than ever. That is the poison of delayed decisions. The brain hates the unknown, so it keeps analyzing, keeps questioning, keeps circling. But clarity does not come from thinking longer. Clarity comes from choosing faster and adjusting later. Here is the solution. Set a time limit. Tell yourself, I have 10 minutes to decide, then I move forward. Not because you are careless, but because you want peace. For example, you are overthinking whether to say yes to a new opportunity. Set a timer. Ask yourself, what do I want? What is the worst that can happen? Will this move me forward? Then decide, not tomorrow, not next week, now, because peace does not come from perfect decisions. Peace comes from chosen ones. Even a 70% decision brings more peace than a 100% overthought delay. Make the choice, move, adjust if needed, but do not sit in the fire waiting for the fear to disappear. Overthinking often comes from trying to control the future, control people, control outcomes, control everything. But the truth is, you cannot. You cannot control what others think, control who stays or leaves, control the past, control what will happen next month. So why suffer for what you do not control? Instead, shift all your energy to what you do control, your actions, your response, your breath, your habits, your focus. Let me give you an example. You sent a message to someone, they did not reply. You think, why did they not answer? Are they angry? Should I apologize? Should I send another message? But can you control their mood? Can you read their mind? No. So you breathe, you take a walk, you move on with your day, you do your work, you clean your room, you learn something new because your power is in the present, not in their inbox. Here is the rule. If it is outside your control, it is outside your stress. Let go of the storm outside. Build peace inside. That is not weakness, that is strength, because peace does not come from fixing everything. Peace comes from focusing on what matters and letting go of the rest. Solution 11. Accept that not everyone will like you. One of the biggest reasons you overthink is because you care too much about what others think. You worry, did I say something wrong? Do they think I'm weird? Maybe I looked stupid in that project. Why did they not invite me? Maybe they do not like me anymore. This pain is real, and it is heavy because every human wants to feel accepted, liked, respected, loved, understood. But here is the hard truth that brings you peace. Not everyone will like you, not everyone is supposed to, and that is okay. Even the kindest, most beautiful, most talented person in the world has people who dislike them. You're not here to please the whole world. Because the more you try to be liked by everyone, the more you become a stranger to yourself. You hide your voice. You change your personality. You shrink your dreams. You say yes when you want to say no. And this is the result. You do not feel loved. You feel exhausted. You do not feel accepted. You feel fake. And the worst part, you start to overthink everything you say and do. But when you accept this truth, that some people will misunderstand you, dislike you, reject you, something beautiful happens. You become free. You speak with courage. You walk with confidence. You finally breathe because you are no longer trying to be someone you are not. Remember this. You do not need everyone to like you. You only need to like yourself. You were not born to impress them. You were born to express yourself. So stop replaying that moment. Stop explaining your every move. Stop wondering if they like you. Instead, ask a better question. Do I like who I am becoming? That answer will guide you to peace. Solution 12, let go of perfection. Progress is more powerful. Another silent killer of peace is the obsession with being perfect. People say, I cannot start until it is perfect. I cannot follow my calling until I have everything figured out. I cannot share my work until everything in my life is perfect. I cannot serve until I feel completely ready. And what happens? You wait and wait and wait, and in this waiting, time is lost. Opportunities are lost, confidence is lost. The dream begins to fade, not because you failed, but because you never started. Perfection is not your goal, it is your prison. Perfection tells you you are never ready, you are not good enough yet. You will embarrass yourself. But here is what no one tells you. Progress is what builds greatness. Every confident speaker was once unsure. Every successful creator made terrible first projects. Every skilled writer wrote terrible pages, but they kept moving, they kept learning, they chose action over anxiety. Let me give you a truth to remember forever. Done is better than perfect. Starting is better than waiting. Imperfect action is better than perfect hesitation. So today, if your mind is telling you it is not perfect yet, answer back. I am not here to be perfect. I am here to be real. I am here to grow. Let go of this pressure. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to be learning. You are allowed to show up even when you are not 100% ready, because you will grow by doing, not by thinking.